Hello, mic check 1 2. Okay. Right, do apologise about the late start. There's been a few technical hiccups in the studio. OBS wouldn't connect with YouTube. I had to restart the computer twice. Then I didn't realise I hadn't got my outputs on my mic set. I got the different wrong drivers set up on my mic. So, good afternoon. Welcome to a slightly late session with myself, Darren Baton from Elite EDM Stars. Today I'm going to try and get into the garage house track that I've been doing. I just want to state that it's not a traditional UK garage house track. It's more of a sort of deep house garage track with deep house elements with garage style bass line really. So the element of using the sort of house organy type bass sounds and sort of that's how I've developed my own style over time. So it's, as I say, it's not a traditional garage house track where it's more skippy with skippy vocals. It's more of a house deep garage style deep house, or should I say deep garage, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not going to mess around too much today. I want to get straight into it. I want to show you a few things I've done earlier on, a few changes, messing around with the intro I wasn't happy with last week. I've changed also the groove quantize on the hi-hats that I made from white noise because I wasn't happy with that. So without further ado, hope my camera's working, because that's another technical issue I've had. The camera wouldn't work at first on the left hand side, so I'm going to switch over now and hopefully there we go, as we go. So we're back in action on the side camera. So I'm going to get straight into it. If you've missed part 1 and part 2, you can... Oh, that's the track there playing. That's part 1, and there's part 2 also available for this session. And so if you've missed the first 2 parts, you can catch up watching those. There are timestamps on this particular one. I haven't had time to do the timestamps. Quite ironic, but I haven't had time to do the timestamps for video number 2. So once this video is complete, I want to make this the 3rd video. I'll do the timestamps for both of these videos, and then next week we're going to start making a track with hip hop loops. So I'm going to take some hip hop loops and then make a house track out of hip hop loops. So I want to get into this. Let's get this out of the way. Hopefully the track should be playing. Just let me test the volume levels are not too loud for you here. You treat me like a fool. Okay, so quick reminder of the track. And I've created a new intro. I'll show you a few little things I've done. I haven't done much. I've tried to not touch the track since last week. I was going to do an earlier session this week, but I've had a very busy week trying to get the course finished. We're 99% there now, getting my first course completed. So that's available. Don't forget as well, you can download the sound pack. The link is the sound effects pack. The link is available in the description below. And smash a like button while you're down there. Anyway, so quick reminder, I'm going to show you this new intro I've got here. And I created this with Sylenth in the end. I had a problem earlier on with Arturia Software Center not connecting, so I had to uninstall that and reinstall it, so none of my Arturia plugins would work. They were throwing up no licenses and stuff, so I had to uninstall that and connect that. So it's been a bit of a day of technical hiccup day, one of those days. So we got there. Okay guys, so that's first of all, that's the new intro I've created there, and I'll show you how I've created that. I took an original part, the original chord, and I shortened the notation of the chord, of the change of the chord. I shortened it right down, and then I just moved one of the notes so slightly in a different timing position, and then I went through a few different synths to try and find the right sound, and ended up going through the actual Silent original sound bank and sound bank number 4 in there, and found a sound that actually ended up just sort of suiting. Really, it was that kind of sort of brassy organy type sound I was looking for. And I've added a little bit of movement, and you can see I've opened up all the automation that's taking place on this. So we've got automation on 3 lanes here, and we've got also automation taking place on the filter just here. So the filter's coming up and it's helping to close the high frequencies down really fast, because you can't always do that with the cutoff frequencies on the synthesizer. So sometimes you need another filter to shut the brightness down very, very quickly. So to add movement, I've automated, as I say, the cutoff frequency of both the synth and an auto filter at the same time. So silence automation is automating here. Also, the automation on the amp decay is changing, and also the automation on the delay, on the amount of delay, wet and dry in the mix. And I've put the wet and dry, the delay times onto a 1/8 delay, so that and a ping pong delay, so it gives a 1/8 bounce to create a little bit more movement. It changes the riff. It stops the riff sounding exactly the same as it's building up over a period of time. It adds movement to it, creates mood because of the different drops. So I'll just play that through again from here. Okay, so that just adds movement. It just makes a nice sound, but brings it more to life over a period of time. And obviously I will probably tweak an EQ and compress that as well. There's really no treatment on that at all. So again, I've also introduced an extra, I think 1, 2. So to bring this intro in, to make it build to the drop. The drop was too early. It was coming in after the 17th bar, so I've extended in from here to here. I've put another 16 bars in basically. So I introduced this first, and then I'll put another section in. So I've made this section first, this intro, and then it was, again, I wanted to extend it because I wanted the kick drum to come back in for a little bit before it drops into the piano, into the vocals later on, and the bass line here. So again, I've also took the hat, white noise hat, and I've put it back onto a 16th pattern with a swing of Logic's 16th note. I wasn't happy with the timing of the drum loop swing. It wasn't just doing it for me. It was just like too stuttery. So I've gone back into a, as I say, 16th note pattern and just put that on. And again, as you know, the white noise is automating the decay times. And not actually automating at the moment, because I've got to go back in because I've wiped over everything. I've got to re-automate everything. So what I'm going to do now is just take all of this automation out quickly. I'm going to clear the envelope, and now I want to automate these period things over time. So here we're going to just ramp this up a touch, and then again maybe just a little bit there. And again, I'm doing this by sight rather than ear at the moment, because I roughly know what it's going to do. I roughly know the effect it's going to give me. Oh, a little one there maybe. Oops. So maybe do a little rise ramp there, and one there, so at the end. That drives me mad in Ableton. See, when you highlight the line and you drag it, look, it just allows you to move the automation points, and if you don't get it right, you just literally start dragging all of your automation across the screen. So I should really zoom in. I'm going to highlight again. I'm just going to drag that up to the top, ramp it down. So that's what I've got there. What I want to start doing now is putting a few little kick, double kick drops and stuff. I may actually change the kick drum. I'm not happy with the sound of the depth of the kick drum at the moment. So let's look into doing that. I'm going to change over, go into the studio, turn the mic off, and then we'll get into the mix. Okay, so I'll see you on the other side. Okay guys, so what I'm going to do, I wasn't happy with this vocal chop that I made last week, so what I want to do is I want to try and take some vowels from this vocal, and see if we can find and create something a little bit more better for the intro, just something for it to flow in the first intro of the track. As I say, I wasn't happy with that. I like the effect I've created there from that little bit there, that little knock down, which I pitched down, and I like this effect that I've created from it here. It backed off in the mix. Again, it will get backed off once it gets all sort of mixed and properly and grouped up and everything, and some compression, EQ. EQ is the key. EQ is the key to getting that dynamics out of the mix, pumping the right frequencies in the right areas without actually having to use any EQ to start off with. If you can get your mix sounding great with just EQ and no mastering chain, obviously I've got a mastering chain on here at the moment, so I can take the mastering chain off, and that's what I'll do when I start stripping the mix back down. I'm just doing this for sort of boosting purposes, just to give it a little bit more biting, sort of gluing the track together. There's also something I've discovered as well. I've been doing a few little things wrong with the glue compressor, and I've done a little bit more research into that. And there's some techniques that I can do. In fact, it's just a simple change of the attack time, and I didn't realise I got my attack times down too low for glue compressors on the master. You should have a really sort of slower attack time, let everything cut through so it's not just chopping into the mix really fast. So we could actually pump these up and you'll see a noticeable difference in the mix actually. So let's just have a play with that, and then I'm going to go back and do some chopping back. So I know it's not mastering, we haven't done any EQ in really. I'm just going to have to do an A/B test really, and just sort of show you what can happen when you change those attacks. Okay, so that's much better. You can hear the difference in the bite in the kick drum. It's actually brought the kick drum body through a lot more, so I'm actually happier with that kick drum. Again, I might change it later on in the mix. It just depends. If it's not cutting enough through once everything's finished and finished mixing, then I may change it. But that attack times have really made a massive difference. And again, I've just adjusted the threshold. You also want a fast release of about 2 milliseconds on your compressors. So let's just check my release timings. So put that release on to 2 milliseconds. A ratio of about 2:1 rather than 4:1. 2:1 ratio on both compressors. Again, you can experiment with it. 4:1 ratio is just going to squash it down a little bit more for every time you pull the threshold back. For every 1 decibel, 4 decibels is going to sort of reduce down. So just be mindful of what you're doing with the compressors. We have covered these topics quite a lot. So yeah, I want to take some vocals. I want to get to the stage when I want to try and mix this track. So I want to try and keep this under an hour, guys. We're 20 minutes in so far, so I've got another 40 minutes to go. A couple of other things I've done here. I've just moved the white noise. I've copied another white noise across here, and to save me bringing in the same samples and using another sample with a shorter 8-bar from the sample pack. Remember, we have our own sample pack now of effects. and we've got a lot of white noise effects in these banks here. But to save me bringing one of these and searching for another one, I've literally just taken this, I've gone into it, and you hit the divide or 2 times. So if I hit the divide button, you can see what happens. It divides it in 2 and it just lets you sort of chop it in half very, very quickly. Or I could actually stretch that in 2, and then we'd have to stretch that riser out over time. So it's just a quick way of taking your effects, the same effects, and just playing with them, shortening them, and making them, it sort of time stretches them in the background, and it just makes it quicker to get those risers in the places that you want them. So for example, we might just want to put the little bit of the last part of the riser come in here. I'm going to put a little bit of a riser here, so let's do that. Let's come in, and then we're going to go and divide that again and really divide it twice, so it's just a really short lift up. You can see, okay guys, you can see what it's done. It's made it sort of little very short, in fact too short for what I'm looking for, so for this particular case. But that's what you could do if you wanted to make it even really short and get it to fit in. Let's get back to this vocal. Let's start chopping some vowels. We're going to listen and play this through on its own, so let's get into it.
Don't like that you're putting me down. It's true. Things aren't getting any better when we're together. Yeah, things aren't getting any better. 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 I'm getting any better when I'm getting any better when we're together. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better when we're together. 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 I'm getting any better. 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 I'm getting any bass, I'm getting any bass, I'm getting any bass, any bass, I'm getting 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 better, I'm getting any better, I'm getting any better. 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 I'm getting any better.
I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm getting any better. I'm
Okay, guys, so first of all, as well, I forgot to mention, I want to actually apologise for the quality of the streams. I don't know what's been going on just lately. I'm just going to check something there. I've got that right down. Yeah, that's fine. I just don't know what's been going on with the quality of the streams just lately. I looked back at the last two videos and I noticed that the quality was really poor compared to some of the other videos I've done in the past. And I don't know what's going on, whether it's coming from OBS, whether it's coming from the internet, but something's not projecting the stream the quality as it was before. YouTube is saying that the connection is excellent, so I don't know. It looks on the screen when I look at it from here, it looks fine. You know, I can see what's going on. It looks fine, but the playback seems to be really poor, and I don't know what's going on, guys. So I want to apologise from that. I'm trying to work it out, if I can sort out a different frame rate inside OBS. It is kind of alien and new to me. But speaking of OBS, let's make sure that you can see what's going on still. Yeah, I'm just going to bring myself down a little bit more at the sides. But you know, there's a lot of work to do obviously on the track. There's not enough time in every session for me to complete it, but the aim of this was for me to just literally start a track from scratch and walk you through some of the steps that I would do in the studio. I'm not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong. This is my approach as I've developed over the years. I've been searching to get better and better and better, and I never stop trying to get better and better, and that's the aim of it. You know, it's taken a lot to understand music theory, progression of a track, finding good vocal samples to work with. That's one of the hardest parts. Finding a good sample CD or a good vocalist to work with is really difficult. And obviously, you know, if you get into communication networks, then obviously you've got more chance. In a few weeks' time, I'm actually going to be doing a session on marketing as well. I'm going to be doing a few things on the blockchain. I'm obviously into cryptocurrencies and stuff, and the blockchain and the blockchain developments for the music industry are coming forward are fantastic, with the likes of obviously NFTs and things like that. So, you know, it's going to change what you guys and what we are trying to achieve. In the past, it's been difficult with streaming music, getting paid for that streaming music. You did get paid, but the licensing difficulties, it's all now changing with the use of smart contracts. We can introduce smart contracts, and literally you are going to get a royalty paid in from your music. You can also get Deadmau5, for example, is releasing NFTs. There's companies now which are creating NFTs where you can actually own a share of the artist's music and earn royalties from that when they earn money as well. So, there's some fantastic opportunities in the music industry now which are growing, and I'm really looking forward to over the next few years to see what does come out. I'm trying to develop some stuff in the pipeline for the Academy as well on the NFT marketplace. I'm just looking into it, which best platform I'm going to start using. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to keep away from Ethereum network purely because it's been so expensive with the gas fees and stuff. And obviously, if you guys haven't got a clue what I'm talking about, I do apologise. But I will try and do a session one of the days where we cover all of this. So anyway, getting back to the track. As I say, there's lots for me to work through. The aim is that I've built 2 sections, 2 bridges here, with the vocals repeating themselves, the track working itself through, and obviously this intro has pushed the track forward a little bit further along than I'd like for a 3.5 minute radio mix. But if I needed to do a radio mix, I could obviously strip this intro back down and the outro and just take out some sections and shorten it down. And it probably wouldn't have a repeated vocal line, but this is more of a club mix that I'm trying to achieve. I haven't actually made a list this week purely because I've been so busy. I'm not sure what to sort of focus on next on the track. I haven't made a sort of a go-to list to sort of work through like I did last week. It is a case of the track is starting to write itself now. I want to do a few more tricks with the kick drum here like I've done here, so just creating some double drops and stuff like that, and some reverses, just to sort of stop it being stagnant all the way through this section of kick drum here, because we've got kick here and kick here, so I want to do things with these. So I'm going to go back into the mix a little bit. Something might come to me what I might want to do. There might be an accident. I've found in some of my recent tracks that a couple of the ideas have come out by little loops, just putting a loop in a certain section, and it's caused an idea and an accident to happen. And it is what it is, and that's how we used to make music in the past. We used to just sort of loop a section, and an accident would happen within it, and we try to emulate and recreate that section. So let's get back in.
getting any better when we're together, yeah. You keep treating me like fool. Why did you? I don't like.
Well, for some reason, my Mac just locked up a second then, so excuse the waving the arms around. Probably thought I was a bit mad, but yeah, there's a few things going on here by the looks of it. Yeah, I've got a few problems. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smoothing streaming. It's just something's killing my computer. Seems I've got a problem, guys. I don't know if I've managed to get this far, if you're hearing this, because this is all I've had all day long, really. These problems, is communication problems, error problems, technology problems. It's been the bane of my day. So, I apologise if this stream has stopped. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to have to wrap it up. Oh, here we go. Apparently, now there's an excellent collection again. So I'm not sure whether this is coming through, guys. I just don't know what's going on. Just lately, I seem to be having a lot of technology problems. So apologies if the stream went a little bit funny then. YouTube was telling me that I got a really bad connection. So I've just tried to free up a few things. See if I can get some CPU back. Let's try again. I wasn't aware of how long that was actually going on for while that was covered up, unfortunately. So I couldn't see that there was a bad connection going on. We seem to be back in action, but I'm pretty much coming to the end of this session, guys. But the aim would be, you know, the next steps would be to start doing some EQ. I've done it on the compression on the bass. I've done it on the kick and the bass. I haven't done anything on these. I would start putting some parallel compression onto my drums, tidying my drums up, probably add some more drum samples in as well. One thing I do want to add in is I want to add an open hi-hat, like a shh at the end of every so bar. So let's go in and do that. Not really much going on with the mixing of the drums at the moment. I haven't really put any compression on at all. You know, I try and get everything sounding as best as I can without having to apply compression, really, and EQ. And you do that by using good samples for your drums and stuff. And you know, I like to use loops and individual drums. So let's come in and try and find a hi-hat.
forever. How could you?
Right, that pretty much sort of wraps it up. I'm going to show you how I made this synth. I didn't show the actual chords at the start, but I took the original synth and the original pattern, which was down here. So I took the original chord structure and I just shortened it down into one bar. So I did explain at the start what I'd sort of roughly done, but I didn't show you the sort of notation. So I literally just took it, made it into one bar, chord pattern, moved the timing of these notes because they were on, and the timing of these, they were on exactly on the bar. So I've just moved them slightly. The two middle notes, I've moved them off the main sort of downbeat in time, and I've moved them slightly off time just to give them a little bit more shuffled movement. So just wanted to sort of wrap that up. I forgot to sort of show you that and explain about that. But that kind of sort of wraps it up for today, guys. And although I haven't gone over the full session, I haven't completed the whole track. I've tried to get the whole track as much as I could completed. I may try and work this in again towards the end somewhere on the outro. Not sort of sure what's going on here just yet. Let's have a look. Bass line. So maybe I could run that bass line through for a little bit more, and then probably run out with my mix. Let's see what we've got here. How many bars? 1 bar, 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's maybe, we could run with an 8 bar outro. Just run the loop across, etc, etc, and just sort of create an outro on the track. Let's have a little play for a few minutes and see if I can just get a quick outro going, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I don't know what happened there, guys, but something just went completely out of time, and I've just don't know what the hell. What's caused that? Let me get this into a. That should be one bar, just literally one bar loop, and everything just went completely out of time, out of sync. Something's gone not right here. Don't know what happened then. One bar, very strange. Everything seemed to be completely out of time. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and copy this whole section across and see if that will make a difference. Just getting a wee bit annoyed today, guys. It's just nothing's working the way it should. Things are not, I'm highlighting stuff, copying stuff, and it's just not responding to the commands. It's just not doing the things it should. The computer seems to have a mind of its own today. Like I say, it's been one of those weird days. I'm just getting a little bit annoyed with it. Technology's just giving me bugs all day. Things have gone wrong with the website. I've published the course and the pages have disappeared on the course. And I've had to contact the developers, so it's just been one of those days, the last couple of days, and then today is just everything's gone kind of wrong, and it's funny. It's just funny. It happens, and you have to cope with it. But another thing as well. Obviously, if you are having problems, and one day your computer can run fine, the next day you can boot Ableton up, and CPU can just be all over the place. So if that does start to happen, don't forget to just sort of freeze your tracks. And then if you want to get rid of the synths altogether, just flatten the tracks and it will just create audio imprints of them. A quick way of bouncing down your tracks to audio rather than actually sort of re-recording and looping itself back in. But yeah, it's just one of those days, guys. But I've managed to sort of get an outro going on there of sorts. I'll probably have the kick drum just carrying it through straight away. And that pretty much wraps it up. So I've just finished with an outro. I'll probably put maybe put a kick impact on the end here or something like that. But I just wanted to try and complete the track as best as I could. It's about coming up to 4.5 minutes, just over 4.5 minutes, nearly 5 minutes. So it's actually ended up being a longer track than I expected. Like I say, most of my tracks I've been working with now are about 3.5 minutes. So if I wanted to strip it down to a club track, I could take that intro out there. Sorry, not a club track, a radio mix. So if I wanted to strip that out, I could just take away at least 40 seconds there, 30 seconds. That strips off straight away, and then maybe do away with this section here with the second drop, or maybe do away with a section in the middle. It all depends on what kind of the radio wants. It depends on what the record label wants as well at the end of the day. If they want to try and get maximum support, radio mixes are going to do that. So keeping your track down to 3.5 minutes is going to make sure that you do stand a chance with getting some airplay. And if you do get some airplay, that's where get a little bit of wonga. Make sure you're registered with the PRS, PPL, MCPS. Make sure you're registered with everybody, and you will get your royalty payments. But that's the beauty of the blockchain. That's why I'm looking forward to what's coming out. I'm hoping that the PRS, the MCPS, and those guys somehow link on the blockchain and really sort of take advantage of the technology. We know the blockchains are the slowest technologies, but in terms of security, in terms of copyrights and intellectual property rights of our music, I think it's a fantastic future for the music industry, the film industry again. So, hopefully we can get our academy onto some EFT stuff coming in the future. I'm looking into what we can do, but it's a slow process. There's so much to do. I'm trying to find the right blockchain to go onto for the right development and see what we can do to bring the more stuff, collectible items, sample packs, whatever we can do, and put them onto the blockchain for you. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap things up today, and I'm going to jump on Facebook and do a live session now. So next week, making a house track from hip hop samples, and I'm going to start running through that, start to finish again. So we'll see if we can try and make a track, finish the track, or at least half finish the track. So again, no planned material for the time being until I can get all of this content finished. There's such a lot to do on a daily basis. I'm just literally, it's eating in my hours and my time all of the time. So that's why I'm just trying to keep these sessions light, fast, and as quick as I can. Well, I say quick, but you know what I mean, within the hour. So speak to you soon. See you all soon. See you next week.